Good day, everybody. This is Alfred from your Florida electrician. We are going to install Tesla's Generation 3 wall connector. First, I would like to do an unboxing with you. So when you get your wall connector, it's going to come in a box like this one. You want to make sure you get everything out of the box. We'll go ahead and open it up. Let's see. Open it. It's all tucked in over here. Your wall connector. Come take a look at this. Yep. Oh yeah. That's the money right there. So go ahead and gently take out your wall connector. Take this box out. This is glass, so handle very carefully. And this one has a 25-foot charging cord. You want to be careful with the charging end as well. Take it out carefully. Take out your instruction and your template. You're going to need this template for screwing into the wall. Very careful. This is a quick start guide. You can check all the hardware and read the directions, which is something I'm totally going to do. And then you can connect it to the Wi-Fi later. But we're totally going to open this thing and get started. Hey. Carefully. There's a strap on the back of this. It should allow you to pull the back off. Okay, and that is the mounting bracket. There's some screws that will be taped on the inside. Don't want to lose these screws. These are pretty important. You're going to need those. We're going to put this wall connector aside for now. And we'll go ahead over to where we want to mount our wall connector. So I'm going to grab a pencil. Let's see where this is going to, how high this is going to sit. We would like to try to get the top of the wall connector roughly to the top of this panel here. We're going to come out of this panel for power. We have 2-pole space left over for our 60 amp breaker that we're going to connect this to our wall connector. This is the homeowner's backed up load center along with this one. So we have space here. He has a 200 amp, well, 150 amp service. It shouldn't be a problem at all. I'm going to try to get it somewhat level here with the top. So I need to measure how much space here from the top screw so I can get it level with here, or roughly level. So that top screw is about, let me get a guesstimate here, about 5 1/4 inches down. So let's get my level here. Hold on, another level. Make another level line. We're going to make a level line over to where we're going to install the charger. Roughly, I know I have a longer one. Okay, so believe it or not, that's pretty level. So I need 5 1/4 inches down to my first hole. Is this in the center? Let's see if I can get it in the center. 30 inches, so roughly just over 15 is my center. I need to go down 5 1/2, 5 1/4. 5 1/4 was this measurement from the top to the top hole. If you're trying to make it level with something, the top, so about 5 1/4 down. My top hole is here. Put little X. Okay, and then you want these two holes to be level. I'm gonna make the next mark, and then I want them to be level, straight. I'm gonna try to get them straight as possible. It's pretty close right there. Oh, right there. That's where I want two of my tap cons. And then I need to drill these. This is designed to be outside, so it's watertight. They have some holes that are not drilled out, but they're ready to be drilled out, so you can drill these out, which I'm gonna do that right now. I'll drill these two. That's about all you need is 2 screws. I'm gonna go ahead and drill that out. This template is for lining up with this, so that should line up perfectly. There's some extra material here that was left after the drilling. Kind of pull that off just so it sits flat. Now I want to tap these holes, drill and tap. You don't have to record my butt. Get your tap cons. It does come with screws, but these screws are more designed for wood. The ones they give you here are more designed for wood, not so much for tapping it to the wall. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these holes. Here's the camera. You should always wear gloves and eye protection. Normally I'd have my glasses with me, but I don't have my glasses with me. Now I get those holes drilled. You can go ahead and mount your block here, your mounting block. Loose it first. For this one, we have 3/4 inch car flex. I don't need more than 6 feet for this particular install. You can buy 6-foot sections in Home Depot or Lowe's. It comes like this. Pretty convenient. Cut it to the size you need. Okay, that's that. Number 6 wire, if you're going to be using a 60 amp, the highest you can use on this particular charger wall connector is 60 amp. So if you're using a 60 amp, you need to use number 6 THHN. You only need black, red, and green. And we're going to go ahead and show you how to connect that here in a minute. And it comes with a couple 3/4 inch flex connectors, which you're going to need to get into the panel. And some 3/4 inch straps for holding the flexible conduit from being pulled off the wall easily. Okay, Ian, over here, get your panel open. Cover off. This is the inside of the customer's electrical panel. He has also solar and Tesla batteries installed. This panel we can come out of because it's on the backup. And we're gonna use this bottom opening right here. Make sure you shut off all the electrical prior to doing this. You want to work as safe as possible. And we're gonna go ahead and make our connections. We have an available spot for the ground there. And our 2 hot wires are gonna go on here. Okay, so the flex is really cold at the moment. So it's not bending very easily, but once it gets warm, it'll straighten out. Normally I'd be wearing gloves, but today is very simple. Not too worried. You want to kind of get a rough measurement of how much of this flex you actually need. We're going to come in through the bottom here. We'll take this out, but this is designed to be outside, so we're going to come in through the bottom, but I want to get a measurement from here to where we're going to get into the panel, and that'll be that. We're going to cut it. It's cold. It doesn't want to move. Let's get this plug out. We're going to knock that plug out. Okay. Our connector for the car flex. The Tesla wall connector is set up for 3/4 inch. So if you just go ahead and purchase 3/4 inch car flex or a 3/4 inch pipe, it's just easier. You don't have to modify anything. You're ready to go. Same thing here. This one's going to go on the bottom side of the panel, but I would like to get a rough measurement on how much flex we need. Putting that there temporary. It's going to go more inside. So my rough measurement would be like right about there. And then you want to go ahead and cut it. I usually just use a pair of aught cutters. Try not to cut your finger off. Okay, that should be my rough measurement to there. And go ahead and feed the wires through there. Yeah, the wires are here. It's just easier to do it this way. We'll go ahead and cut this. I cut at the supply warehouse. I had them cut roughly 10 feet of black number 6, red number 6, and green number 6. So I got 10 feet here. I know I have more than I need. Not having enough is no good. Having too much, you can always cut it. Go ahead and feed this wire through here. It should fit no problem. Although around the corner, not so good. Here we go, it's almost there. We need to reach up to here. These are the connections. So this has to come around here and reach all the way up to here. So I want to make sure I have more than enough. This is just a rough. Okay, that should be more than enough there. And I know I have more than enough here. Okay. And this one has to twist on there. Yeah, that one's got a twist. So you need to take those connectors off and twist them on. I'm going to take these off and twist them on. Okay, we're back. can see I fed the conduit into the flex connector. This part you have to twist into this one on this particular style. You gotta go ahead and twist this on. So I took it off, stopped videoing. I have plenty of wire here for reaching into here. And the same thing down here. I used a 90 flex connector to come out nice and straight out of the bottom of the panel. I already fished the wires through, and they're long enough for the ground to reach the ground bar, and for these two hot wires, the red and the black, to reach where the breaker's gonna go. Okay, you wanna make sure you strip your wires fairly long. I think that's at least a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 inch, because they're gonna sit down inside here, and you wanna make sure they're long enough. If they're a little bit too long, it doesn't matter. They'll come through the bottom here and it's not gonna hurt anything as long as they don't touch, and they won't. But you wanna make sure they're long enough so these, when they're tighten onto those wires. Make sure you pay attention to these here. This little symbol is your ground, the green one. This one is either neutral. If you only have 120, if you can only hook it up to 120 volts, you would do your white here. But in our case, this is gonna be line 2 and line 1. So in our case, it's gonna be green, red, and the black. And we're gonna trim that out here in just a minute. So the Tesla hardware bag comes with some screws here. These are more designed to be put into through the drywall and into the wood. In this install, we didn't need these. We used Tapcons, and these are for holding the actual EV charger to its mounting plate on the top and on the bottom. That's where those will be used. And it also comes with a wire tie. The wire tie is for wire management. We want to put these wires over here in between the wire tie, and we want to zip tie. We want to zip tie this closed so you don't have any issues when you go to put the cover on. And then we'll be able to cut these, measure these to length. And we're going to go ahead and trim that out. Trim this out. And another piece of equipment they gave us is a little attachment for getting this tighter. It's like a little ball type of tightener that is specific for this particular wall connector. And you need to torque the terminals to 50 inch-pounds. And use copper only, just like it says. This is copper wire. And let me show you the connector that they send you. It's right here. It's like an Allen key, but rounded. So because we added a breaker to the electrical panel, you're gonna need to remove the blanks that were there. So these are still there, but they have to go because now we have a breaker in its place. So these need to come out. And it's pretty easy. You can take a pair of needle nose and you grab them and they pop right out. That's it. Now we can put the panel cover back on. Okay, you're going to want to take a multimeter. This one's a nice one from Klein. You want to, before you put your EV wall connector, Tesla connector up there, you want to test for voltage. So go ahead and, if all the connections are made, go ahead and turn this breaker on. And then you want to take your meter, set it for voltage. It's the V with the line that goes like this, up and down like a wave. Put your leads in, be very careful. Put your leads inside, doesn't matter which side. And this one shows 249. You want to come closer so you can see it? So you should have about 250 plus or minus 5%. So you can see this one, I have 250 to there. And I probably have roughly 125 to there. That's the ground. And hut the ground, 125. 125, and 250. So that's the correct voltage of what you should be seeing. So for the next step, we're going to want to actually hang the wall connector, but we want to shut the power off to it first. Power off. Power's off. Go ahead and carefully grab your wall connector, and I'm going to cut this cord free. It's kind of heavy to hold it up there. Careful not to cut the cord anywhere. Don't nick it or anything if you can help it. And certainly don't drop the plug. Hold this thing like a baby because it's glass. And that is just gonna slide right in just like that. And then we need the screws. The screws they do provide you. There should be 4 of the ones that you need. And that same piece that they gave you to tighten the lugs for the power is the same one that is for this. So if you wanted to come over here, you can see where these go. These little screws, they pop right in here, and you may have to hold it up against the wall to make it go in all the way. That's another one here. Okay, let me go get that piece. And if you use this type of tool, be very careful not to over tighten. It doesn't need much to hold it in there. And you do the same on the bottom. Kind of have to hold it because of the way the design is. And you gotta push up against there. So you need one hand for pushing and the other hand for screwing. So if they don't go in, you need to push very hard on that because it is pretty exact. But again, you don't need to ratchet it super tight. It's not going to fall off the wall. You can unwind this. That's a nice long cord. Go ahead and unwind this, and then wind it up nice and neat. Be careful of this, protect this, don't drop it. You don't want to break it. So I'm just trying to get the turns out of it. There you go, it's nice and straight. Now we can go hang it. I don't have to turn out completely. It still has some memory for the way it was hung before. So it's going to have to sit for a little while to get all that turn out of it. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit. This will relax after it sits there for a little while, but it's been sitting in a coil for so long, it's going to be looking a little weird. Again, you want to be very careful. Just cut the tape so you can get this off. Unpack that. This has a little hook on the side. See, there's a little hook here. Put it in. This will relax eventually. And also, I'm going to strap at least one strap here. Yeah, probably just one. I'm going to put a strap here. You can turn it on. Now it's safe to turn it on. And if you look here, you should recognize that it came on. It's going to go through a little startup. And then we have to start the programming of it. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So if it doesn't do this, you need to go back and check your connections. There you go. So it's blinking because it's not ready. It needs to be set up. Okay guys, you come to the part where you need to commission your wall connector. Find the IR code in the top right of the pamphlet they give you and scan that with your phone, and that'll get you connected to the wall connector's Wi-Fi. Okay, next you want to open a web browser, and then you want to type in 192.168.92.1. And when you click on that, it should bring up this screen where you can see your part number, serial number, alerts, Wi-Fi, software, and installation and access control. You're going to want to first click on the Wi-Fi and get that screen open. That will bring up a screen that will allow you to punch in your Wi-Fi address and password. And if all goes well, you'll get this screen that you're connected and the signal strength is very strong. That is what you want. Go ahead and click back to get back to the other screen, and you should see connected to Wi-Fi. I would click on the software and make sure there's no updates. If there is, go ahead and do an update, and then return back to this main screen once again. Click on the installation tab, and that's where you can choose the size of the breaker that you had installed. Make sure you do this correctly. If you put a 60 in there, you want to make sure you choose 60 amp breaker and then go back to the main screen once again. The access control and power sharing tabs are not covered in this video. That is if you want to have your charger or wall connector outside and you want to let people have access to it or not. For certain vehicles or to a specific vehicle, you want to allow access, or all vehicles. And power sharing would be if you had installed 2 or more EV connectors, how the power is going to be distributed amongst them. And again, that's not covered in this particular video. Maybe later, if I install more than one, we can talk more about that one. Again, this install came out beautiful. I love how it looks. I love the entire setup. Having the Tesla Powerwall with the solar, with the wall connector, and congratulations on getting the car. The car is beautiful. You are going to love it. Amazing setup. Again, amazing setup. Look at how nice this looks. Unreal. Again, thank you, Brad and your family, for putting up with us while we record. I am so happy to be able to make this video, and because of you, you made it a reality. Thank you so much. If you found this video informative and you enjoyed it, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you quality videos like this one. If you want to continue hanging out, I did a time-lapse video of the entire install, last about 6 minutes. I think it's pretty funny when you're watching somebody move like this. But maybe there's some angles that I didn't cover that you could see here that would be interesting to you. So feel free to hang out, watch the video. Go ahead and like it if you liked it, and please subscribe. I am doing this all by myself, and growing my channel would be really awesome. Thank you so much.